You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your host, Thomas Ahrens. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Fishing the DMV. I'm your host, Thomas Ahrens, and today I have on the man, the myth, the legend, Sean, and I'll always butcher this because I can't read, apparently, Boorsma. I believe I said that right.
Yep, yeah.
Apologize. There we go. Look at that. I can spell at 30 plus years old. Dude, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for the invite, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
If you guys don't know or living under a rock, I believe, was this year one for the Virginia B.A.S.S Nation Kayak Series that you ran and did the schedule and everything?
Yes. The past 2 years, it was a state championship held at the end of the year, and anglers voicing their opinion last year saying they wanted a little bit more. So this was the first year we had a trail series.
The schedule you put together is freaking awesome. And I've been really championing the idea of what makes kayaking cool, and any business is finding a niche. And kayaking, you can go to places big bass boats can't go. And if this was you as Brent, of like, hey, let's go to Briery and Sandy to begin the year, two bass factories in Virginia, that you can't have a boat tournament. That's like slots perfectly for kayaks, dude. I thought chef's kiss. That was brilliant.
I really enjoyed that one. I fished Sandy for the first time 2 years ago and went back again last year. And I was just like, oh, this just sets up so perfect for a springtime tournament. I think we were just a week or two off of the fish moving up a little bit more and everything else. But all in all, Tyler, I think, had 90 plus inches in that tournament. So I'm weighing heavily doing that again next year. Might just drop it down to one lake to make it Sandy or Briery. Not sure yet, but I enjoyed visiting Farmville early in the year. I thought it was a great start to the season.
What is it just you that comes up with the tournament schedule? Do you have like a board, or like how did the whole schedule come together?
So Virginia B.A.S.S Nation, they have their board. Most of the members are tournament directors on the bass boat side, the youth division directors, and adult directors and everything. So Danielle posted last year that she was looking for somebody to maybe take it over due to her time constraints and everything else. And so I messaged her, and then I messaged the president, Sid Ryan, and they just happened to be on Chickahominy River like 2 weeks later. So drove up there, watched them launch their boats, and we sat there and we talked, and, they let me know, what they could help us with and, what we would be responsible for, and all came together and decided that, hey, we're going to give this a go. And then that's when it started. I think that tournament was right around July of last year. Helped Danielle get the state championship done in November on Lake Anna last year. And then I just polled a bunch of people, see where they wanted to fish, asked a lot of the kayak anglers, and started talking to the Northern Virginia guys. And that's when I was like, all right, let's do some smallmouth and some largemouth. Let's just open it up to the state. Let's try and cover as much area as we can with 4 tournaments. And I thoroughly enjoyed traveling to, the Shenandoah. It was beautiful up there. Upper Potomac, again, just Harper's Ferry is beautiful. All these fisheries, it's just been a great year so far.
We are one of the few states, and guys, in the comment section, let me know if I'm wrong here, that you can have a whole swing of cypress stump fishing, Smith Mountain Lake, deep clear water, and then you have a smallmouth swing. Like it's I think one of the few states that you can almost do it all in a series. And I'm glad that you kind of incorporated that, because it also makes AOY, which I think it should be one of the most coveted things, to say that you were the best angler. It wasn't just by fishing the tidal Potomac 17 times in a row. You had to catch them in a variety of fisheries, and you had to catch the brown ones and the green ones.
Yeah, Dale Allison and Tyler Bumgarner and Scott Skinnerman, they've been killing it all year long. They've all three been real consistent with their fishing. So it's going to be exciting to see who's going to bring it home at the state championship this year.
And with that said, again, this will be the quick little plug for this. In the episode description, guys, I'll put a link. If people wanted to sign up for next year, where do they go? And then when do you think you'll make the final announcement on the year?
So next year's schedule, I'm going to talk to the guys at the end of the state. Well, let me start with your beginning of your question. Virginia B.A.S.S Nation, we have a website. If you start Googling VA B.A.S.S Nation, it should populate. There's a kayak section in there. You can sign up. If you sign up for the rest of this year, that will cover your dues all the way through end of 2026. So we do that. We require a waiver. We require a W-9. That way, when you win money, we already have the information and we can get you paid out a lot faster. And then I'm waiting for Mr. Owens to drop the 2026 Bassmaster schedule. And then I'm going to try and work around that to give the guys as much opportunity as they can to qualify for the championships.
Is the 4-event schedule, is that mandatory with the Bass Nation, like what they prescribe, or can you add more or take more tournaments away? They've pretty much given us free reign to do whatever we want within limits. First year out the gate, there's a lot of online polling saying that a lot of people wanted to do this. So, after putting polls up on the Bass Nation page and everything, anglers, they felt comfortable with four tournaments out of the year, especially if they were spread out. So late last year, I was talking with Jonathan Scott with Smalley Rivers and Mike with NVKBA to try and work something out to where we can put a tournament in that club's backyard. That way, the guys that were interested in fishing Bass Nation only have to travel to fish one more tournament minimum to qualify for the state championship. That way, we could reach as many people as possible to try and get our numbers up. And we did pretty good this year. I think it was pretty successful. I would like to add maybe one or two more, but we're gonna get a feel for what everybody else is thinking about that. What do you think the pros and cons of that are?
Having more tournaments, I think the goal isn't to try and pull guys away from their home clubs. For me, at the end of the day, it's to get as many guys as we can that are interested to get qualified for the state championship. That way we can send them to the Bassmaster Kayak Championships the following year. That's really the goal. I don't want people having to fight AOI races between their clubs and, trying to pre-fish for Bass Nation and pre-fish for NVKBA and, try not to have everybody at arms and, trying to make decisions. Just try and keep everything spread out enough so anglers have the choice. They can try to make it easier for them to still fish their home clubs and Bass Nation at the same time.
And I think that's a brilliant strategy because, I think it's the NPFL what they do. It's like, hey, listen, we're going to cater our schedule around everyone else's so we can be a part of your schedule and not doing this old school FLW versus Bass of you got to pick one, and no one likes that. And a lot of people want to fish multiple events. And again, with kayak fishing, it's so cool. Again, if you haven't tried that, for all my listeners, if you haven't tried kayak fishing, the nice thing is you can double dip. And so Shenandoah and especially the Upper Potomac where you double dip with the NVKBA, you can fish both. And that's such a cool deal that's so unique to kayak fishing. And you gotta go try that for sure. And this is a question that I give to all my guests, but I never even gave it to you yet, which is what got you into kayak fishing, just fishing in general?
So my grandmother and grandfather had it's called a vacation house down in small town called Tunis, North Carolina. Population back in the 80s was probably 52 people. It was a little town on the Chowan River, right outside of Winton, North Carolina. And once they retired, they moved down there. So when school got out on Fridays, they would go up to the vacation house. Grandpa would take me up there, and he dropped me off Monday mornings on my way back to work. So it was pretty much, I get out of school, go down to North Carolina, start fishing until Sunday night at dark 30. And I did that every weekend pretty much when I wasn't playing sports. And then when summer got here, it was the day school got out, I was down at grandma's house, and I wouldn't come back home until the day before school started. So it was just summer fishing, 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 fishing. Eat lunch and do some more fishing. So that's where my love for it really started. And, you know, walking around the banks and just watching bass swim up and down, and the herring run that would come in, you know, right around Easter every year, and then the striper come in behind them, just watching all that. And that was back when the Chowan was real strong fishery. So that's where it all started. And then probably around high school, I stopped fishing. Mid-20s, started saltwater fishing, and then that's when the kayaks came in. Couldn't afford a boat, didn't really want all the troubles and everything else, so bought a kayak, started fishing down at Rudy Inlet, catching flounder and drum and speckled trout, and met a good buddy of mine. So we started fishing together, and then we started doing some freshwater bass fishing, and then we found online tournaments and started fishing some online monthly tournaments. And probably by 2019, I started live tournament fishing. And then from then on, it's been a ride.
What kind of tournaments did you fish? Did you go to like the national scale, or did you just stay local?
No, I stayed local in the beginning. 2018, 2019, I did a KBF trail event on Lake Anna. 2020, I did a KBF trail event on Gunnersville, but I mostly fished Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge and fished some local VKT tournaments, Virginia Kayak Trail tournaments. And then when COVID hit, I decided to start going down to North Carolina and fishing. Jumped in a group, Carolina Kayak Anglers, CKA, real great group of guys down there. Started fishing some of those North Carolina lakes, and got my first win on Lake McIntosh back in 2023. And then after that, it just something sparked and started having a little more success each and every tournament. But I learned a lot in those years.
That's so cool. So where do you call home now?
Virginia Beach. About 15 minutes from the ocean. We got a freshwater bass factory called Back Bay down here. Only place I've caught a bass and a flounder in the same day on an Alabama rig. So there's a lot of great fishing down here.
And this is the part of the show that I'm assuming everybody's going to be really zoned in on. Your area is so mythical when it comes to the rumors and legends that every place down there you can catch a 15-pound bass. It's the best lakes in Virginia, North Carolina area. Just so many crazy things with all the lakes. And so, yeah, I mean, high level, for the person that's listening has no idea what is the deal with this area. Why is it so legendary amongst bass anglers?
There's just a lot of fish out here. And there's a lot of water out here. There's we have a place called Stumpy Lake a few minutes from the house. These fish are just ridiculous. They are, you'll catch a 17-incher that's 16 inches round. It's 3.5 foot average depth at full pull. It's on a golf course, and it's just loaded with shad. I mean, there's shad, probably enough shad in there for bass for 100 years, and they'll never run out. The Norfolk lakes over around Northampton, there's just a phenomenal amount of bait in between Lake Whitehurst and Lake Smith. And there's so much bait. Seagulls are in there hitting bait balls. There's think Smith is hard bottom, but the bass are just there. They're unbelievable. Back Bay, again, just miles and miles and miles of water. Bass can go everywhere.
So I guess this is Stumpy Lake, right?
Yes.
That is not very big, is it?
It's not.
Wow.
It holds some big. Now, you want to talk about some cypress trees. That is a cypress tree filled area. That big grouping right there. Both banks are pretty much lined with them. All those trees that you're looking at, the water probably goes back into those trees a good 10, 15 feet in that area. The other side of the lake, it's probably 200 feet from the start of the trees to the bank. So they're just everywhere in there.
Wow. How big is this lake? Like spitballing, 200 acres, an acre, 50 acres?
It's pretty big. I don't have the information in front of me, but I'd say it's an easy couple hundred acre lake.
Is this a place that you could, in theory, hold a kayak tournament? Or is there rules against it?
It's a public lake with public access.
Okay.
The only problem is there's no boat ramp. There's no boats allowed in this lake. So it's kayak only. There's wasp nests. There's snakes. Geese chase you all around. It's just one of those places.
Now, for the Back Bay itself, like, is all of this area here bass friendly, or is it like a specific area of Back Bay that you're going to get bass versus flounder?
I believe there are bass. I've only fished the from the middle of those islands up, and
these islands here.
Yeah.
Okay.
From there north, and that's I've caught bass, and again I've caught flounder in there. So
that's so cool.
I went out there one day. We had some really, really strong winds. All the water got sucked out of there, and all you saw was eelgrass and dirt.
That's crazy. Holy smokes.
It was. Right there behind Sandbridge. Again, there was just, it's all mostly fresh water, brackish. But it's a very interesting place.
So you could be fishing a frog and stand up and see waves of the ocean. That's...
and in a couple areas it's pretty thin, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
But with the dunes on the beach and stuff, it's a little hard. But
so what is with these? I keep hearing about these Norfolk lakes. Are they run by the state? Are they water power operated? What are they?
I believe, I'm not sure if they use them as a water source or not. So you have Lake Prince, you have Western Branch, which I'll be fishing tomorrow and Saturday.
Ooh. Where are these bad boys? I think they're right here. There we go. Or Suffolk Lakes. There we go.
Yep. You got Burnt Mills. There's a whole bunch of them, and man, do they hold some fish too.
Are they all the same when it comes to water clarity, cover, or they all have like unique characteristics?
They all have their own characteristics. That area, like Western Branch, has sloping, hard bottom banks, trees, laydowns. Water's pretty clear. Grass moves around from some pockets. I believe Burnt Mills feeds Western Branch. And then I can't remember. There's so many of them up there, but
yeah. Let's see. This is Lake Meade. Where is Burnt Mills? There's Lake Cohoon. Oh, there's Western Branch. There you go, guys. I can read a map. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's like one lake stacked on top of. Oh, that's fascinating. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. There's a lot of water to cover out there.
It seems like it's almost you do need a big motor to cover this thing effectively. The Western Branch looks massive.
It is. Western Branch will go, I think that westward running side runs over towards Burnt Mills. Burnt Mills sits a little higher than Western Branch. There's a road that
I think Burnt Mills is up here. Okay, it's up here. There's Burnt Mills. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, there's some big striper in there. Schools and schools of crappie. There's big bass in there. It's a kind of fishes almost like Lake Anna.
So are they all kind of like clear water, no grass, no wood, just gin clear kind of pools, or
they could be for the most part, yes, clear water. Like I said, there's minimal grass, big hard flats. Cohoon, and they all have trees around them. They're all the same, but they're all different, if that makes sense. Like Cohoon will have a lot of trees laid down, crisscrossing each other.
This is Cohoon. Wait, nope, Cohoon's down here. There we go. Oh wow.
Yeah, I love throwing an Alabama rig in that place.
So you said none of these lakes have like SAV or any kind of grass in them?
It's very little. They're not big grass places. Now, Burnt Mills, the shallow hard bottoms, they will hold a lot of grass, but Burnt Mills is really, it's got a deep portion to it, and then it comes up, gets shallow with a big sandbar as you're leaving the ramp, and then as you start going back down the river, it's just stump after stump after stump after stump.
Oh wow.
So bass really like sitting on them stumps. A lot of pickerel in there too.
Oh really? I didn't know they pickerel down that way. That's cool.
Yeah.
Or I guess the stripe were introduced, correct? They're not natural to any of these lakes.
I'm not 100% sure. I just know they're in there.
Yeah. From are there any spots in these lakes, or is it just largemouth? Anecdotally, of course, like
yeah, it's largemouth. I don't ever remember catching a spotted bass over there. I don't think they've made it that far yet. I know Dyson Reservoir has them, but I don't think they've made it this far down yet.
Are you allowed to have fishing tournaments in these lakes, or is it like some kind of special permitting thing to even get on the lakes, or you have to have a specialty boat? Yeah,
the Norfolk City lakes, you have to have a Norfolk pass in order to fish them. So I think it's $5 a day for a pass, or $40 for a year for for non-city residents. If you're a resident of Norfolk, I think it's $20.
And just a kayak, like you can't put a boat in there.
These allow boats. I think they're restricted to 5.5 horsepower.
Okay,
it's either 5.5 or 9.
Dude, these are massive.
Usually, when we take the bass boats in there, we just put the 9.9 on the back and just slow roll through there.
Is this a place that you'd ever like think about having a kayak tournament?
It's on my mind for next year. I think the city would require us to get a permit if we were to have a tournament out there.
Interesting.
Just because of parking and everything else. They don't have, these parking lots aren't big.
Okay.
I think Western Branch might have room for 30, 40 vehicles.
Oh, wow.
Lake Prince, about the same.
That's kind of crazy that they have such big impoundments, but they have like no amenities when it comes to parking and stuff. It's like they did not think that through when they were like constructing these things. Yeah, because like these look, I mean, I'm gonna off the top of my head, they look like a couple of these are 1,000 acres, which is pretty massive.
Yeah, Prince is huge.
Yeah, like that's wow. That's insane. I guess this is Prince down here, right? No, this is like Media.
Yeah, I think Prince
it's
will
like-
be up north with
Oh, it's up north.
Western
Okay.
Branch.
Is it this cluster right in here?
I think so.
Let's see. We got Western Branch here. And Prince. Nope, that's part of the Western Branch. Oh, there's Lake Prince. There we go. Oh, wow.
Yep, and they're just mostly separated by dams.
Huh. I could see how living in this area could make you one hell of a stick, dude. You have so much water you could pick from, whether it's tidal, cypress swamps, or just gin clear water. Like, this is I mean, how long would it take you if you wanted to go fishing today? How long would it take you to get on the water?
If on a normal Saturday morning, if I wanted to be there at sunrise, it would probably take me 35 minutes to get there.
And what's the closest body of water to your house?
The body I like to fish most is West Neck Creek. It's down there towards Back Bay a little bit. I forgot what river it's a branch off of, but there's a
river.
There's a it's just a long creek.
West Neck Creek. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, dude, wow. This almost looks like a canal system.
Yeah, so if you go back down south, it'll start opening up into the main section of the river.
Oh, cool. Northern Landing River. Okay, so West Neck Creek joins Northern Landing River. Oh, that is so cool. Okay.
Yeah, so I like fishing that creek. I've caught a lot of good bass back there, and it's basically cypress and tall reeds out there.
Oh, that's wild. That sounds like fun. Is it tidal or is it like just a river?
It's not super tidal. It's not like Chickahominy tidal.
Okay.
It's more of a wind driven tidal than anything else. But yeah, when the water's up, it's nice because you can definitely get back further into a lot of these creek arms that you just couldn't when the water's down a little bit. But the boat still can't get back there. So it's just
so cool.
A lot of those areas are just paradise. I had one fish that I caught about 5 years ago. It was 19 and a half inches. The last time I caught her, she was 22 and a quarter. And that was last year. She's still sitting in the same spot. The boats just can't get back there.
That is so cool.
So
man.
I didn't get to see her this year, so I think she moved on, but there,
dude,
there's just so much to fish out here, man.
Dude, like it's Candyland. Like I don't see how why you'd want to leave where you're at. I mean, we didn't even talk like, can you even fish out of a kayak in saltwater in this area? Is it too rough, or is there places that you can do it?
No, you can
saltwater fishing.
There's guys that go up to the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel with their kayaks, sheep's head fishing and stuff like that. Yep, right there.
Okay, this is the bridge. All right.
And then to your southeast, that is the Lesnar Bridge.
Southeast, south, and then east. Right. Okay, down here. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
right
all Little Creek and stuff. If you go up a little bit north.
All right, going up north. Little Creek.
Yep, right there. Yep, I like fishing all that stuff right there. There's a Navy base, but that's a really good creek right there. And then on the other side of the bridge, you got Lesnar. That's the Lesnar Bridge right there. Not to your right.
Oh, right here.
Yep, keep going to your right. And that opening right there. That's the Lesnar Bridge, and that inside of that entire area is just great fishing. This time of year, the trout like to start getting stacked up, and the reds are still in, and it's mayhem.
Do you have a saltwater fishing story?
I have a flounder hole that I really like. That's I didn't do a lot of saltwater fishing. I really I have a spot down at Rudy Inlet that I go to in February that I like to catch reds in, and then I got a spot down there that I'd like to catch my flounder in. Um, Basically, I'll just go out there, take my 25-minute paddle, get to my spot, sit there for an hour and a half, get my keepers, and turn around and go home. But
For flounder fishing, are you just drifting or are you casting? Like, how the hell does that work for flounder? I've only caught flounder off a pier when I was a kid, and you're like throwing a big ass weight with like 50 hooks on it. Like,
what I like to do is use about 12-pound mono, and I'll just take a circle hook and a gudgeon or a mud minnow and just nose hook them. And what I'll do is I'll just cast it out and I'll let it slowly sink. It's not too heavy that the mud minnow can't come up a little bit and then drop back down. But usually once he gets close to the bottom, he'll hover a little bit off the bottom. And then after a minute or so, I'll just reel down a little bit, slowly pull up, and you'll feel the weight when he's there. And then it's just tight lines, 21-inch flounder. Let's keep on doing it.
That's so much fun. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I have the courage to. I watch that on YouTube so much about people fishing saltwater and kayaks, but I get so nervous about being out there and in that rough water and stuff. But like you said, I see people all the time around the Chesapeake Bay bridge tunnels in a stupid little 12-foot kayak, and they're catching 80-pound drum. It's like, dude, man, that looks cool, but man, if you get capsized, you are effed.
Yeah.
Like, being out there by yourself.
It's quite the ride out there. Some days is a lot easier than others. When you get around them islands and that water's pushing past those islands, it gets really turbulent around there. But you can fish inshore. You can fish inside that Lesnar. Everything inside of that Lesnar Bridge is all salt water. So there's plenty of places to go in there without all the extra water features that the Chesapeake Bay can bring when it's windy or rough out.
What type of kayak are you running? I forgot to ask you that earlier.
Hobie Pro Angler 14.
And you're just giving yourself a leg workout. You don't have a motor that you use? I
really like my Hobie, so I won't put that one in salt water.
Okay, gotcha.
That kayak's just fresh water only. I'm scared. I don't want anything to. I like my freshwater setup.
That's fair enough. Yeah. So wait, what are you using when you go out in the ocean then?
What I've been doing for the past couple years is I'll just I used to jump on charters out of Pirates Cove. Okay. And I would go fishing on the waist knot. We just do charter trips, go catch some tuna and some mahi and some wahoo, and do that a couple times a year. And that for the last few years, that's fed my hunger for the saltwater fish, and I can't afford both. It's either freshwater or saltwater. So.
You have such a dilemma, because like people with me where I'm on the upper Potomac right here up at Hagerstown, so it's just smallmouth. I couldn't imagine how much money I'd be spending if I had to like gear up 2 different setups to like, all right, I'm gonna go catch flounder, and then tomorrow I'm gonna go do like, oh my god, I would be so poor.
It's rough. So we went ahead and stuck with the freshwater fishing, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. I enjoy going down to Carolina and fishing with those guys. I've enjoyed fishing tournaments here, Gunnersville, Chickamauga. I mean, it's been a good ride.
What's your favorite place outside your area to go? And it doesn't have to be Virginia specifically.
Lake McIntosh, North Carolina.
Okay.
I love that place. My second favorite place is Gunnersville.
I've had a couple of people hype up McIntosh too, which is interesting. I feel like that's another like sneaky. It's not necessarily a bass boat deal, but it would be a cool kayak destination for sure, with its size and everything.
The way that they run that lake is amazing. So there's 2 boat ramps, one on each end of the lake, and everything on the outside of the bridges is the non-motor side. So they can't run their bass boats through there. They can only use their trolling motors. In between the 2 bridges, in between the ramps, that's all motor. So they can get to the bridges, go wide open, fish in between the the two end bridges and do whatever they want. But once they start heading back to the boat ramp, they got to get on that trolling motor. So, or they have to go idle speed back to the boat ramp. So you don't usually see a bunch of bass boats fishing both ends of those lakes. And that's where you'll see a lot of kayakers and john boats. They don't.
Why do you like that? Is it just big fish, or is it just like it's scenic and cool to look at?
They do a really good job with that lake. So I first fished it, I think back in 21, and I was down there just fishing a tournament. It's probably my second or third tournament with the club, and I think it was still cold out, so it might have been late March or April. Hardest hit I've ever had bass fishing in my entire life. This 17.5-inch bass sitting on a bed about ripped that rod out of my hand. I fell in love with it. I only caught 2 fish that day. So with that and me being a little butthurt that I couldn't catch 5 fish, I wanted to go back. So I put a lot of time in on that lake over the next couple of years, and it paid off. Was able to finally get a win with CKA on Lake McIntosh. So,
oh, cool.
I saw a school of bass out there one day, easily 8 to 10 pounders flying out of the water like tuna.
Shit.
So,
holy crap.
Yeah, ever since then, it seems like every time I go out there, I catch at least 1 5-pounder. I mean, they're just,
goddamn,
they're built like brick, you know what's.
Yeah, North Carolina is I adore because it does feel like the redheaded stepchild, because it's sandwiched between Virginia and then everything South Carolina has to offer. So I don't, besides, the vaunted, oh crap, why the hell did I don't remember that name of that lake? All right, you guys are going to kill me for not knowing. Norman, sorry guys, had a stroke. Besides like Lake Norman, if you didn't live in our area, you would think North Carolina just has one lake, which would be Norman, and not like there's a ton of lakes there. They either don't have the size to have mega tournaments, or they just don't get the love that they deserve.
Yeah, CKA and CCKF, they do a real good job with the area that they have, and I really enjoy fishing with both of those clubs. Number one, they got some hammers. There's some really good guys, but man, they got some good bodies of water down there.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. And it's perfect for like the sizes and stuff. It feeds this kayaking boom in our area, because you can't, unless you're going a BPT style format, you can't really have BFL style tournaments in some of these lakes, but it just is perfect for kayak fishing.
Yeah. And that's how Lake McIntosh sets up, because you don't have bass boats running in front of you and, dropping 50 yards in front of you and start fishing a bank that you're fishing or stuff like that. So it's real nice. In Gunnersville, I just love that place.
Yeah, Gunnersville, even with all its drama and stuff and how much pressure it gets, it's still a miracle that place still pumps out. And again, it's I think personally, it's because of the eelgrass. It's all the grass that they have there. For as much crap stay-at-home moms will give it, if it wasn't for SAV, I think it would not be the lake it is today with what it keeps pumping out every single weekend.
Yeah. Big bags.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, as a tournament director, how much of it is boat ramps go into your decision of where to go? Because there are some lakes that there's like one boat ramp on them, and is that a limiting factor on like why you would choose a place like, oh, this place is great, but it's only got one boat ramp? Or does that matter at all?
Size of the lake is what I look at first. Can we put 40 guys on there on kayaks? And then we'll look at parking. There's, like with the Suffolk lakes, if we were to hold a tournament on there and we had 60 anglers, that could cause a stifle with the parking and everything else.
Makes sense.
But it's a consideration that I take, because I'm not a huge fan of one ramp lakes, but I'm not discouraged against them. It's everybody starting from the same spot and see you later. There's no advantage. Everybody starts the same, unless you have a motor or you're paddling or whatever. But I like to look at citations caught at lakes for the past couple years. Like Sandy, they're never going to give you the real numbers. Briary, they'll never give you the real numbers.
No, never.
But that's some of the things, and a lot of the other things. I like to poll the guys and say, hey, where do y'all want to fish? And then just go to Google Photos and be like, okay, well, we can do that. We can do that. You guys want to fish here, we can do this. And then if it has a small lake, then maybe we put in the registration, if we hit X amount of anglers, we might have to open up another lake or figure out additional parking or something. But we haven't ran into that problem yet. So
no, and that's the way to do it. And again, you get spoiled with like where Sandy and Briary is, to where if you had too many anglers, they're so close to each other that fits great. Fredericksburg area with what Mike did with MVKBA, there's like 7 lakes you can pick from. I think Williamsburg, yeah, I know, because I had a guy on the show talk about Williamsburg the same way. There's like 6 lakes there with Little Seneca, and there's another lake that I'm having a strict. There's a bunch of lakes just there. It's weird that our state has so many clusters like that, where there are places where there are just like 4 or 5 lakes, boom, right there. It's just they're not 40,000 acres or anything like that, but there are like weird little pockets that there's a bunch of bodies of water to go explore.
It's nice. I enjoy it. I don't know why it's like that, but
yeah,
I like it.
No, it's, yeah. And then I think there is a new lake coming on board. I did talk to Virginia DWR. I think it's off the James River, the Upper James, but it's going to be like a 1,500 acre to 2,000 acre reservoir that they're putting in. I think it's above. Guys, help me out in the comment section when this thing drops. I'll Google it by then, but that's going to be coming online the next couple of years. I think it's near here, State Farm or Goochland, something like that. But that's going to be cool. So we're going to have even more lakes coming in play. And then Chesdon, of course. Like there's so many things in the Richmond area too that we could probably explore. Yeah, like you could literally probably set a schedule every year and not go to the same place twice. Mm-hmm. We have so many places to pick from. That's so cool. Oh.
Yeah, I think I've made my mind up. We're going to be on New River next year.
Oh, spicy. That'll be fun.
I think we're going to look at May. See how that works out. Definitely interested in doing Sandy again. I like that. I got Kerr on the plate with the rivers included, Staunton, Dan. But yeah, I'm gonna ask the guys where they want to fish next year, how many they want to fish, and then we're just gonna try and put it all together.
The new would be fun. What is the cell service like there? I know when Hobie went there, I think they went at the wrong time personally. Like that probably didn't show it off his best, but is cell service an issue for that area?
I've never been up there, so I don't know, but that's why I like the Tourney X app so much. Mm-hmm. When you take your photo, you don't have cell service, then you still go through the motion, except you just put it in your live well instead of uploading it to the leaderboard. That way, when you do hit a service area, it's just a quick swipe. Okay, uploaded, swipe. Okay, uploaded. And that really does save a lot of time with that app. I was at Lake Whack-A-Mole last month, and there was spotty service down there, so it was just nice to take a picture of the fish, get it on the board, get my photo, and just throw it in the live well. That way I don't have to spend time later on going through all my photos, hoping I don't get the wrong one or anything like that. So really like that part of the app. But a lot, and I try to reach out to other tournament directors that have tournaments on these bodies of water, just to get a feel for, okay, yeah, so this section has bad service, and I will try to adjust the photo submission deadline to help anglers, hey, go catch your fish. If you don't have cell service right then and there, we'll try and give a little bit of extra time towards the end for you to get back and get cell service before awards and before the deadline's up. So,
yeah, that's a big thing I think with tournament directors. If I ever had to play with tournament directors, is like the time between the cutoff and then the ceremonies, especially when you do like the Upper Potomac River and it's like 1 billion miles that you could be launching from, and it's like, all right, well, you got to be in a ceremony 3 hours away in like 5 minutes. Like, there's no way in hell I'm getting there. Sorry.
Well, and first year directing, I let the guys know that I appreciate as many people getting there as I can. But
Yeah.
if you look at the mileage on some of these rivers that we fished, I mean, it's just not.
What can you do?
You're talking what we have open, like 87 miles of river on the Upper Potomac or something like that. So it's hard to get back, and I get it, and that's why it wasn't in the rules this year, mandatory and everything else. I might go mandatory next year for people that want to fish for points and stuff like that for AOI, and I might make it mandatory, but
it's hard. I think Mid-Atlantic one year, Jake, you can yell at me if I'm wrong about this, was like they had their meeting in one area and it was like on the other side of the river. And so it's like, depending on where you launch, you will have like a 2-hour drive to get there. And it's just something, again, it is kayak fishing, it is what it is. You got to go with it. But like a Lake Anna is nice because like, yeah, you have your meetup, you're right there. Yeah. It's so unique with it's a kayak problem, I guess, versus a boating problem of like, depending on where you are, you got to factor all that stuff into your game planning,
Yeah, there's a lot of different things I try to look at, and I always miss something every tournament. You're not going to make everyone happy. You're not going to have everything perfect every time, but the goal this year was to just stay consistent. Stay consistent with the rules, stay consistent with payouts, and just keep everything running smooth. And it's great group of anglers we've had this year, man.
And you knocked it out of the park. Like even like the Chick Lake, that was a cool thing of just, it's almost like when you do lakes and stuff, it's about getting good, like, branding, sex appeal of some of the places. Like, we're going to go to Briery. How many people are like, yeah, I want to go to Briery because it's fun and I get to fish a tournament there. I'm driving there. Chick Lake is, again, legendary of what the fish are there. So it's just really cool places that everyone's like, ooh, that's cool. I want to just go explore it. And unlike NVKBA, where it's Northern Virginia, you had people I know, like Dale, he lives, Appalachia, we'll just call it that. I don't even know if it's Virginia where he lives. And he's driving to Chick and all these other cool places because they're fun lakes. It's not like you're going to the Ohio River at all in any of these places. So that was, again, chef's kiss for all the places that you went. Dude, I mean, thank you so much for coming on. I feel like we covered so much. Is there anything else that we need to hit on or anything we can promote?
No, I think just next year, I'm just keep an eye on the Facebook pages. I'm going to start. This year, I only put information on the members only pages. Next year, we're going to start, trying to get Virginia B.A.S.S Nation out there a little bit more and start using the public page. That way the guys can share all their, the write-ups and the recaps for the tournaments and just I'm just going to try and get more of these anglers recognized because we got some hammers. We got 23 signed up right now for the state championship. So we'll be sending, we'll be sending 2 guys right now to the Bassmaster Kayak Series championships in March next year in Tennessee. Cool. So hoping, we get 7 more, we hit 30, we'll be able to send 3. We hit 40, we'll be able to send 4. So it's going to be fun. Looking forward to next year, and thank you for what you do and joining us for a couple tournaments this year. And
no, dude, I appreciate it. And yeah, once I'm not unemployed, I'll definitely be able to do more without making the wife pissy, which is kind of important to staying married. And yeah, thank you for being a tournament director, because that's basically a hidden way of saying you're a masochist for wanting to deal with everybody's crap. And again, guys, please, link in the episode description. Go check out this trail. It's really cool. Virginia B.A.S.S Nation Kayak Series. Again, if you don't like fishing the tidal Potomac 38 times, you want to go out and explore and have a really cool trail that kind of gives you the vibe of like the Elite 70 series that Steve Camp does in the boating world. This gives you the same flavor, but kayaking, and you get to travel around this great state from Appalachian area at the South Holston, New River, all the way to the Cypress Stumps of Virginia Beach and up. It's a really cool trail. Go check it out. And we will see you guys next time on Fishing the DMV. Bye. You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your host, Thomas Ahrens. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.